This episode is for entrepreneurs who have between 0 and 5 employees. These are the FAQs of the Paycheck Protection Program. Coming up next on Holy Schmidt.
Holy Schmidt!
Hi gang, this is Jeff Schmidt with Deductions.tax and welcome to another episode. In this episode, we're going to go through the most frequently asked questions both on my site at Deductions.tax and here on YouTube on some of the comments that have come through from people watching the videos. And also there are a few out there that are on the internet that I want to cover off as well, just because I think they're very important. So let's get right into it. The first question is about forgiveness of the Paycheck Protection loan. And specifically, the PPP says that under the right circumstances, the government will forgive 8 weeks of your loan. When does that 8-week period begin? The answer is the day you receive the funds, the clock starts ticking. So if you receive the funds on May 1st, the start period of your 8 weeks is on May 1st. The second question comes from Sally B right here on YouTube, and she asks, does the lender need to verify the calculation that I provide to them for my 2.5 months of average monthly payroll? The answer is no, but they need to make a good faith effort to look at your calculations and make sure that they look correct, but they're not actually required to go in and do an independent audit of the numbers that you provide to the bank. Question number 3 comes from Astroman123. Astroman says, for compensation amounts over $100,000, does the employer portion of the contribution count towards that $100,000? The answer is no, and neither does the employer portion of the health insurance payment or the employer portion of other things like bus tickets or train tickets, etc. The next question comes through my website, Deductions.tax, and the question is, does the calculation of average payroll cost include payment of vacation or sick leave, etc.? The answer is yes, it does. You can use that in the calculation of your average payroll cost. This includes costs for vacation, parental leave, sick leave. That is, unless it's captured elsewhere. For example, during the crisis that we're undergoing now, there are certain benefits related to health and family health that are covered under different portions of the Family First Coronavirus Response Act. The next question comes from, let's say this person shall be nameless. I made some mistakes in my youth and I was incarcerated in my early 20s. I'm now in my early 40s. Am I disqualified for filing for the PPP? The answer is no. If it's been more than 5 years since you've been paroled and you have no current offenses, you're absolutely fine. Go ahead and file. Question number 6 comes right from the government website. Can I include my employees' portion of taxes that they pay for, federal taxes that they pay for, in the calculation of average payroll? The answer is yes. For example, if your employee makes $6,000 a month before taxes but pays $1,000 a month in federal taxes and takes home $5,000 a month, that additional $1,000 is included and you can count the entire $6,000 in the calculation of average monthly payroll. However, if you as an employer pay for your side of federal employee taxes, and I'm talking about things like Social Security, etc., that portion is excluded from the calculation number. So you cannot use that in your calculation of average monthly payroll. The next question comes from Endless in Miami. I own a Meineke car shop and I have 4 other employees. Does this disqualify me from accepting the payroll protection program because Meineke is a large corporation with well over 500 employees? The answer is no. Franchisees are looked at the franchise level. The same would be true if you were a McDonald's franchisee, a Subway franchisee, or any other type of franchisee. It's by franchise, not by the size of the parent corporation. However, your franchise must be listed in the SBA franchise directory. The link to that is in the description below. The next question. I'm terrified to go outside. Can I sign all paperwork electronically? Yes. First of all, let me say, you're not the only one who's terrified, and you can absolutely sign everything electronically. Any form of legal e-consent is just fine. The next question I just have to put out there, and that is, I own a business that isn't affected by the pandemic. In fact, it's doing better now than it was pre-pandemic, do I still qualify for the Payroll Protection Program? The answer is no, you don't. You have to be affected by the current emergency in order to qualify for the emergency funds. The next question comes from the gentle guy, and he asks, I started my business in 2019. How do I calculate my average payroll in that instance? Well, gentle guy, the answer is, it appears as if there's a lot of flexibility with the banks as it relates to average payroll. For example, if you started your business in July of last year and you went through December of last year, you could use 6 months of payroll. Or you could use the first 3 months of payroll in 2020 as an alternative if that information is more representative of your current payroll costs. I think the important thing to remember here is that no one's trying to hurt the recipients of the PPP. They're trying to help them. So the way the rules are written, it's for accurate but also liberal interpretation of the best way to calculate your average payroll costs. The next one comes from Old Ace. The question is, I have employees that are very well compensated. One makes $125,000 a year and another almost $200,000 a year. Are they completely excluded from the calculation of payroll? The answer is no. You can only take the first $100,000 of their compensation, though, in determining the cost of your average payroll for the period that you're measuring. The final question comes from Green Thumb, who must own a landscaping business. The question is, I own a business that operates from about March 15th through the end of September, and then I don't have employees for the rest of the year. Do I still qualify for the PPP? The answer is yes. You just take your payroll during the period which you were actually open and divide it by the number of months which you were actually open, and that is your average monthly payroll for the period of time that you are calculating. So gang, that's it. If you have any additional questions, please post them in the comment section below, and I try to get back to everybody within 24 hours if I can. Also, common questions I'm now going to post in the description, so make sure you forward this video to yourself and check back often. Lastly, make sure you give the video a thumbs up if you like it so that other people can find it as well. During these trying times, we want to make sure that everybody can get great information. And of course, don't forget to subscribe and click notifications so that you get notified the next time I post a video. Lastly, if you want to know more about the Paycheck Protection Program, click this video right here and you'll find out more than you probably even want to know about it. Also, click this video right here because it's specifically curated for you by YouTube. They think that this one right here would be most interesting for you based on your viewing habits, so check this out. This is Jeff Schmidt. Thanks for watching.